Let's call the meeting to order. I'd like to call to order the June 12th, 2019 meeting of the Design Review Board. I am Tamara Burns, chairperson of the Design Review Board, and we have a very short agenda today, including welcoming a new member of the board. So to start with, we need to approve the agenda. So can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved. Support.
Okay, any changes? All right, agenda is approved. Minutes. May I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Okay.
Support.
So it's now open for discussion. Are there any corrections to the minutes? All right, all those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Okay, minutes are approved. Moving right along. We have two letters for approval. The first one is the recommendation letter for 545 South Main Street. May I have a motion to approve that recommendation letter?
So moved. I'll support, but we need discussion.
It's now open for discussion.
Mr. Cooper made a suggestion.
I just made a comment that I sent to people, but it was late in the morning, so. All I said is, they mentioned that they haven't really resolved their stormwater management issues, which could have a big impact on the site, and we really focused on the site as an important aspect of the project. So I was just suggesting that when they work their stormwater management plan out with the city, they might want to come back to us after.
So we
I
can
sent a
put-
written comments to Alexis.
I'll double check then my email. This is kind of ringing a bell, but either way, I can also go back to the tape, the recording, but I can add an 8th to the draft letter.
So do we
Most
want to?
project-
Oh, go ahead.
Most projects that we have looked at have been further along in that regard, and so I guess I'm surprised that they came to us twice and that they don't have anything from engineering as to how they're supposed to handle their stormwater.
I think it's a problem because I believe they're in the floodplain.
They're in the floodplain, and it's a very high water table there.
Right, so, underground detention or whatever is not gonna be possible, but what is gonna be necessary, I don't know.
It's a good point. He had some wording they put in as a suggestion in his email this morning.
But it's not in the letter that we're approving today, right? Correct.
It's not in
He made a
these.
suggestion in the email.
It doesn't, we don't
That's
really
not-
have to make that change, it was.
Well, I think it's a good
I think it's a good one.
suggestion. So do we table approving the letter, or can we just would have to read the, whatever you
I
had
just
said.
added it as a comment 8 that said, when you resolve your stormwater issues, which will likely impact your site, we suggest you come back.
Yeah.
So the board could either postpone approval and wait for that change, or you can approve it subject to that additional language.
Let me just pose a what if they come back, but if they solve it with something that doesn't, in any significant way, change the site plan that we saw? I think it's unlikely, but
Yeah.
rather than have them go through one more set of hoops and come to us, that would be, if there's some discretion, the staff to say, well, you really can't see what this did, or there isn't an open, I don't know how you are gonna solve the stormwater detention there, and I assume they have to do it somehow or other.
I guess that theoretically you can pay the city to
Do it someplace else.
do it someplace else.
And technically, they don't have to come back to us regardless.
Yeah, all correct. I feel that it could be written so that if the stormwater management plan will change the design plan, the
Right.
board requests that you return with your revised design plan. And they are not required to, but it has the openness of saying, if you solve it in a way that doesn't change the plan, it's okay. And also, it's a request, they could wipe it on its, or flip it on its end and then still say, thank you, but no.
I would, that's acceptable to me.
Any other changes or, okay, can we get a motion to approve the letter for 545 South Main Street with the contingency?
Support.
Okay.
So moved.
Yes.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Recommendation letter is approved. Now we have the recommendation letter for 1100 South University Avenue. Can we get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Okay, it's now open for discussion. Any changes?
Support.
Sorry. It is now open for discussion.
Will this come back to us?
It's been twice.
I don't
right?
think so.
Yeah.
I can't guarantee either way, I don't think so.
Because one of the things that we say in item 5 is to continue to explore designs for an exceptional, impressive, and noteworthy northwest corner. Are we going to leave that up to Planning Commission to decide what that is?
I don't know what else we can,
I don't know, it was clear with our input, they weren't going to make any significant changes to that corner. Just the response that they had. So I think, my opinion is, it moves on to planning and see if planning can say, you really need to do something more significant with that. Because they did a minor tweak,
It's actually at the
and
second meeting, so I
it's
know.
still pretty
Yeah,
standard corner.
yeah,
That's,
yeah.
there's somewhere that it can be, we don't,
I don't remember what-
we have resisted doing mandatory compliance. One of the few times I'd say it'd be sure nice if they did, but it's an exception. Any thoughts?
I don't know if there's any stronger wording that we want to add. That's about all we can do.
You say it's such a chandelier or clock.
I wasn't there at the last meeting,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm disappointed that they didn't come back with something. I was really hoping they would have.
Well, what we were
Yeah.
trying to do was not solve the problem for them.
Right,
Right.
exactly.
But we basically told them that we know what we want, we can't tell you what that is, but that isn't it. And, who was it, Sean?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said he'd go back to his, team and talk about it, but we're not gonna see it again. So I mean, I guess continue to explore is about all we can say.
'Cause two meetings ago, we had some very specific, like, put a piece of sculpture there,
Something.
you know, some feature, something that would draw your eye.
I-
The focal point.
He
you know.
seemed to make it pretty clear in that second meeting that he was not the decider.
Right.
Okay?
Mhm. Well, unless you want to change that language to make it stronger, that
Well-
the board was disappointed to find that they hadn't made any major changes to the corner.
Well, it does
And I
go
wasn't
on to
there.
say, the northwest corner of the building will be one of the most prominent, most viewed, and most visible corners in the entire downtown and must be made worthy of that position. So I don't,
The design as it stands is not bad.
It is not
Want to
bad.
add that, though,
yeah,
something like that?
yeah. The design as presented does not
Does not meet that?
meet that spirit
There you go.
and intent.
Okay.
Sounds good.
And then leave it up to planning commission to
Mhm.
say, what did you do?
Okay. Any other additional comments? Okay. Can I get well, no, we already have a motion, or, all those in favor of the, letter with that, added wording?
Aye.
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 All right, recommendation letter as changed is approved. All right, we have no regular business today. We have new member orientation, so, which we remember ever having this on the agenda before, but maybe we just have Corey introduce yourself and about your background and.
Sure. My name is Corey Buckwalter. I was just appointed recently. I'm a planner and landscape architect by training. I have been in various venues in that capacity because it opens up a lot of interesting things. I was a county planning director in New York State of a very small county for several years. I've worked, done extensive writing most recently in Planning Magazine. And working as an independent in landscape projects.
Great. And I understand you had a little
Thank you.
orientation with Lexus earlier before the meeting, so.
Yeah, it was great, thank you.
Good. All right. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
I don't know where this fits in the agenda, but seems like a good time to talk about it because we do not have any new projects for next month, so we have to decide whether we want to meet or not. And I think I may be out of town.
Are we past the deadline for submitting?
Yeah.
The deadline was at noon, and there were no projects submitted. I also haven't had any questions, inquiries, so I wasn't expecting anything either, but it's now confirmed that there were no new designs submitted. And any ongoing projects have not indicated they want to return just yet.
Okay.
Well, it's July. I'm perfectly happy to take a month off.
Yeah.
That probably makes sense, and I'm not gonna be in town anyway.
You need a motion to take that off the calendar?
I won't hold you to being so formal, but just, it is clear to me that the board is electing to cancel the July meeting.
Yes.
You
I
have-
will update you around that time in July then, whether there've been any new petitions, and we can decide anew what to do for the August meeting. So we'll take it one meeting at a time.
Okay.
You get a vacation month.
That's good. Did you say there was planning commission communications or?
No.
Okay, no planning commission communications, no regular communications, there are no public here to make comments. So before I adjourn though, I am now stepping down as chair of the design review board. So, because next time we convene, it'll be
August.
Dick
Good.
Mitchell in August or later, so. I am now adjourning the meeting.
Well, before we do so, I want to say that you've done a fantastic job of
Oh.
chairing this thing. You've been aboard this thing since way before the board formed, and however long it's been, nearly 10 years that you've chaired it, I think you've done a fantastic job.
Right, well, thank you very much.
Can you put together a good way to introduce each meeting?
Yeah, with the help of the staff, that's, yeah, I think that's very, I think it's important, even if it's repetitious to us, to.
Well, it's useful to anybody that's in
Explain,
the audience,
yeah.
you bet.
Okay.
Great, thank you.
And you're stepping down as well.
Absolutely.
And you've done a fantastic job.
As a vice chair.
You have. Stepping in when I was
Stepping in
here.
when you were
Okay.
there. Yep.
All right, well, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.